Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you guys 3 tips for drawing figures for humans. Tip 1. Use a light shade. Now, the reason why you should use a light shade for drawing the figure is because watch, if I use a dark shade where the opacity is at 100%, and I draw the figure. Oh, sorry for the really bad quality of the figure that I'm drawing, but this is an example. So, yeah, if we do that and then we make a new layer and then trace over it, it's not gonna show. And the base purpose of drawing a figure is so you can have maybe a rigid idea of what your human might look like. So the best thing to do is, let me just erase all this, is to turn your opacity down to maybe around 33% or less than 30 is okay. Then you draw it. Again, sorry for the really bad quality of the figure that I'm drawing. But now, when you make a new layer and then trace over it with 100, then you can see how a figure should work in this circumstance. Tip 2. Go free with your figure sketch. This is a mistake I made a lot of times when I'm trying to be like perfect with the figure that I'm drawing, but that's not really what you're supposed to do, because the reason for a figure is so you can get, as I said before, a rigid idea of what your human is going to look like, as long as you're drawing a human. So as you can see, what I'm trying to do right here is I'm literally just trying to make everything perfect. Like, make everything look like, yeah. But because the reason is, if you trace over it, then it's not really going to make a difference. So for a sketch, you should just go free and put lines everywhere and don't erase stuff, because that is a big waste of time when you're drawing a figure. Like this. Let me just draw the arms on here. You can just go free and you can draw multiple lines to make everything good as well. Because when you trace over it, then that's when everything starts getting like perfect and you start to make everything actually look good in the drawing. Tip 3, and the last tip, keep everything proportionate. Now, even though I'm not promoting making everything perfect, as I said in the last one, what you should do is to keep like the arms and legs and everything at the same length. A really good way to do this is to, again, use a light shade and then draw a sort of rectangle, I guess, and then draw a line down the middle so you can see the middle of where your figure is. And you should do this lightly even if you're doing it traditional on paper, but you should divide it into some quadrants or just like sections. And then for me, on the first bit, I draw the head or the top of the head, and I draw the last chin part just a bit under. And this is just my one. You don't have to do it the same way. But as you can see here, I make the elbows go, like the elbow joint go up to about the second line, is it? And then I make the arms go about maybe a bit more than halfway down the line where the elbow rests on. And then I make the hip up to the second one. Wait, that's not the hip, that's the waist, yeah. And then I make sure that the knee joints are around the same length as the hands. That's just my way of making everything proportionate. You can do it different.